Welcome to the Sci-Fi Evolution channel. A cold wind howled, piercing through the tattered remains of the once majestic interstellar ship Orion, whose skeleton was fused into the rocky landscape of the planet Zirix 7. The twisted metal groaned with every gust, serving as an eerie reminder of the war of the Three Luminaries that had recently ended. The echoes of long-ago battles, the rumble of quantum cannons, and the shrill screech of synthetic fighters seemed to still hang in the air, mixing with the smell of burnt plastic and charred earth. The soil was covered with deep craters from proton bombs, and the once lush vegetation had turned to ash. Among the debris and floating ashes, through the monotonous howl of the wind, a soft sob could be heard. Sergeant Kayden, the renowned Terran scout, froze in place, his heavy boots crunching on the charred gravel. His plasma rifle was raised, and he recognized the sound unmistakably: gentle, suffering, very alive. It was completely unexpected. The commander's protocol clearly stated, after the sector is cleared, there are no survivors to look for. Evacuation is on schedule. But he couldn't just walk by. He scanned the wreckage with his thermal scanners, and then, behind the twisted titanium plate, he saw her, a frail figure curled up in the shadows. Her lavender skin was stained with soot and dried blood. She was a xenos, there was no doubt about that. She was tall and slender, with elongated limbs like her forerunners. Her pale silver hair was matted on her forehead, and her eyes widened. Her gaze, unusual but soft, was a shade of purple, and he met Kayden's gaze. "Don't move," he said instinctively, holding his weapon at the ready. She tried to say something, but the words stuck in her throat, interrupted by a painful cough. He realized that she needed help. Without thinking, he lowered the rifle and walked towards her. She didn't back down, just watching him warily. I don't." She couldn't finish her sentence. Kayden sighed. "I'll carry you," he said. He carefully lifted her shirt, revealing a series of bruises and cuts caused by shrapnel. He applied soothing ointment to her wounds, and she flinched but did not resist. "I'm sorry," he whispered, "but I need stitches for these cuts." She nodded, closing her eyes. He worked fast. His hands were steady. When he was done, he sat down next to her, his gaze fixed on her face. "You're safe now," he said. She opened her eyes, and her gaze met his. "Thank you," she whispered. He smiled, and his heart was filled with a strange mixture of feelings. "Please," he replied. "I'm not like them," he repeated. "I'm not like them," she repeated. He carefully examined her wounds, using the medical supplies from his universal kit to speed up healing. While he was working, she relaxed, trusting him. Her fingers gently touched his arm, and he didn't pull away. He realized that her trust was a fragile thing that could be easily broken. He must be careful. He needed to understand what had happened to her, who she was, and why she was here on this dead planet. But none of that mattered now. The only thing that mattered was that she was alive. Then he covered her with blankets and sat down next to her, taking her hand in his. They sat in silence, letting the warmth of the shelter and each other's presence soothe their wounds. Her torn medic's uniform was carefully removed, revealing the swollen bruises and deep cuts that dotted her fragile body. Her bones felt too thin, too brittle. He carefully cleaned each wound, never once allowing his gaze to linger on anything unnecessary. It wasn't just a professional attitude. It was a display of deep respect and empathy that he hadn't felt for a foreign race before. He used Vitagil antiseptic gel and bioregenerator spray, trying to cause as little pain as possible. Her breath caught in her throat, more from emotion than pain. "You don't even look at me the way you used to," she whispered. "I'm a soldier, not a monster," Kayden said. She closed her eyes, which was a rare occurrence for her. He froze, holding the bandage in his hand. "What happened on the Orca ship?" "They turned against each other," she said softly. After the War of the Three Luminaries was lost, the order collapsed. The officers left the ship. Those who stayed, they took what they wanted. They stopped seeing me as the one who healed them. It's just something that can be sold or appropriated. Kayden's jaw clenched. I'm really sorry. He begged them to treat him the way he treated her, but no one was gentle. He resumed his work, bandaging her arm and carefully adjusting the fracture. She shuddered, but remained motionless. You're safe now. I've been thinking, she said in a low voice. In my world, on the Voice of the World, we believe that the soul could become weightless after experiencing deep pain, wandering aimlessly. We thought she needed another soul to fix her again. This is an ancient xenoanthropological theory. Kayden looked at her and asked, "Are you still drifting?" She met his gaze and replied, "Not so much anymore." There was a moment of silence between them, but it wasn't awkward. She was fragile. She reached out her hand, and her delicate fingers touched his knuckles. You didn't take anything away from me, but you gave me everything. Food, warmth, kindness. This is what everyone should do. No, she said. Not everyone. Only someone good. She looked down and said, I'm not offering myself right now. Not because I'm afraid, but because I want you to know that I don't feel like I should. Kayden turned his hand over and took her hand in his. You don't have to. She smiled, and for the first time that smile reached her eyes. A week later, a Terran recovery drone vibrated above them. The War of the Three Luminaries was over, and Kayden was marked for evacuation. He told her, Your people will come for you. My people are here. You're leaving me, she said. But what about you? Probably not. You don't have to decide now. Wherever I go, I will fight to protect you. She looked up at him, her silver hair fluttering in the wind. I once believed that all Terrans were destroyers, and I thought your people were cold. But now I see that we were both wrong. When the evacuation shuttle Groza descended, kicking up a cloud of dust and snow, Sayles approached Kayden. My body survived, she said, her voice barely audible over the noise. But my spirit almost died. He nodded slowly. Let's rebuild it together, he said, hugging her and guiding her to the shuttle. They rose into the sky, leaving behind a frozen cemetery. Two souls, once broken, now whole again in each other's arms.